I welcome members of the Borivali Central CPE Study Circle for today's virtual CPE meeting on the subject of Tally. I take this privilege on behalf of the entire study circle to welcome Chairman of the Western India Regional Council, C. Lalit Bajaj sir. Happy morning to you all. I'm happy this year that Lalit as a convener will be guided by Chairman Lalit. Now let us start with the session with ICI motto and video on ethics.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूदात्यपि कश्चन एतद्द्वैता 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 एतद्द्वैता
Thank you. Uh, Today's virtual CPA meeting is on the subject of Tally, or how to conduct audit under Tally and Tally on cloud. And we have with us our learned speaker and our own core group member, C. Anand Paurana, to deliver the talk on the subject, who is the expert in the field. And before we start with the session, I request Chairman Sir to address us and give his vision statement of WIRC for the year. Chairman Sir, please.
Thanks, Lalit. Convener of the study circle, Lalit Panchal. Deputy Convener, Deepen Sumaria. Coordinators who have been assisting the study circle in conducting all the virtual meetings, Nitesh, Deepen. Technical speaker and the core group member for the session, Anand Paurana. All past conveners who are actively associated with the study circle, seniors, members, and friends. At the outset, I would like to thank each one of you for giving me this opportunity to be with you and share our thoughts as to what we are doing at WIRC, and at the same time, as far as study circle is concerned, how study circle can help us to execute our action plan in a proper and a better way. At the outset, let me congratulate Vipul Bhai for a successful convenership at the study circle, because I have been experiencing the energy and the various events which we have been holding at the study circle, and really a great effort from the immediate past convener and Lalit Panchal, deputy convener then. Congratulate, and I wish best of luck to the existing team for a successful year coming ahead. I would like to again congratulate the study circle for vice president being one of the member of the study circle. Actually, I think so. This is really really the virtuous moment, and somewhere we all at study circle have been enriched, because we have been ensured by Nihar Bhai always that whatever help we needed from him, he was always there with us. And at present point of time, when he is elevated at the post of vice president at ICI, I think so we are really happy and fortunate from the bottom of our heart that he is always among us to help us. One thing which I wanted to share with the today's audience and members of the study circle was, friends, when we came out with the guidelines as far as virtual CPE meetings were concerned, wherein the study circle was allowed to conduct virtual CPE meetings, we were given an option to conduct free programs, or you can charge a minimum amount to the participants. The general thought process was that if there is no cost for conducting the virtual meetings, we can go for free meetings at WIRC. But let me share with you that we at WIRC were very much with the sensitive issue as far as conducting the virtual CP meetings by the study circle and allowing them to conduct the CP meetings. If we would have conducted free meetings, that would have been really difficult for branches and study circles to really conduct proper meetings at that level, because we were of the opinion that then participants might prefer attending the WIRC meetings. So we were of the opinion that better we charge for the meetings, each and every meeting, and so that there is a win-win situation and there is a proper demography for all branches and all the study circles to conduct all the activities. As far as activities at WIRC is concerned, we have been doing lot many activities, and we have taken lot many initiatives in this last 4 months period. I will just like to impress upon a couple of initiatives which we have taken in last 4 months, which I feel which are relevant to the audience in this meeting. We have started with a help desk for members and students, wherein we are looking forward that whatever queries or whatever doubts members and students are having, they can post on that help desk. The token is generated, and we at WIRC, with the help of the respective officers, we ensure that those queries are resolved in maximum 48 hours. At the same time, we have just initiated a process of live help desk, wherein every week on Saturdays, 11 to 12, 11 a.m. to 12 noon, we will be live to attend the queries and doubts of all the members and students. We will share the link with all the members and students, and whoever wants to personally discuss with us can just join and share his point. There will be officials of ICI also who can really address and take ahead the relevant issue. So this is an initiative which WRC has taken this year. Second thing which I wanted to share with you was, we have come out with couple of very relevant publications which I feel this year will really be useful for each and every chartered accountant while executing his assurance and auditing functions. We have come out with a publication named as Key Audit Matters, wherein we have tried to compile all the qualifications or all the main reporting elements of around say 192 listed companies in last 10 to 12 years. We have listed all those reportings in our publication, and we have given a search engine so that while you are while you are providing the assurance services, if you come across any section or any issue, you can just go on the publication, put the relevant matter in the search engine, and you can just shortlist the relevant reportings that have been done, and that can help you for carrying out the reporting activity. That is freely available on WRC website. You can anytime go on WRC website and use the publication. One more publication we have we have just recently published is disclosures as to COVID-19, because I think so in each and every balance sheet we have to disclose facts related to COVID-19. So there also we have compiled all the reportings for current year, and we are updating those reportings in every 15 days so that members can get all the disclosures at a one go. That is also available on WRC website. There are a lot many publications which we have made freely available on WRC website. Please feel free and take the benefit of the same. About other activities of WRC, I am sure you might be visiting our website, and you might be going through our newsletter. That our newsletter and website will update about all the activities of our WRC. So what all you need to take benefit or you have to engage into, please be with it. One initiative which I would like to stress upon here is that we are really trying to tie up with some of the software vendors or service providers, the product of which is really usable to larger number of chartered accountants. What I mean to say here is, say for example, a software is available at a cost of 100 rupees. We at WRC are trying to negotiate it as say 30 rupees, 40 rupees, so that all our members can really take the benefit, because I understand that to create an infrastructure at individual level at market rates, it really requires a huge investment. So taking care of that issue, we have ensured that I would suggest the participants or say members of the study circle, if you are aware or if you are known to any such software which you feel which is relevant to general members, please talk to us. We will ensure that we will negotiate with them and ensure that we can give at the best price to all the members. So that is one of the initiative which we are taking. Now coming to activities at study circle, I would like to share a couple of thoughts on that. We have started our year very dynamically. You have seen our ethics video which we have started. You have seen our motto and our theme emblem which we have started with. There were a lot many things. But let me assure you, this pandemic, this corona pandemic has not stopped us or has not demotivated us from carrying on any of the activity at WRC. Instead of that, we have started with a doubly speed and with a energy wherein we can do much more for the members and students at this time of, you can say, adversity time, wherein we are not able to perform our duties at the 100% capacity. So with the same thought process, we look forward from the study circle that study circle would perform with the same speed and with the same energy for the benefit of all its members. This year, ICI has taken an initiative of creating more awareness and creating more training among members on ABCD, which is more of technology and digital arena. At WRC, we have been regularly conducting workshops on various facets of technology, whether it is artificial intelligence, Excel, Tele. Let me compliment you that today's initiative of conducting a virtual meeting on Tele is on the same lines, but I would request the study circle to engage more and more in such kind of activity so that we can really enrich and enable all our members to really successfully conduct or the professional functions at the respective offices. One area which I think as of when we talk about enriching all our members and when we talk about really creating an opportunity for all our members, I think so when we talk about representation skills, when we talk about writing skills on or when we talk about submission skills, I think so lot many chartered accountants are little bit on a on the other side of the table when we try to provide these services to our SSEs, because we largely rely on the consultants who are expert on the subject, and we really try to touch upon them and ensure that they carry the case on our behalf and they ensure that it is successfully executed with the respective officer, whether it is income tax, GST, NCLT, SEBI, or whichever department. When it comes to representation services, somewhat we are on a back foot. I would really ask the study circle core group members that try to engage in more and more such kind of activity where we can really sharpen the skills of our members as far as representation skills are concerned. I think so study circle and can do a lot on this, whether it is about mock tribunal, whether it is about mock NCLT, or whether it is about bringing on experts to share the nitty-gritties of the subjects. I can assure you that with this initiative, we can really enrich our member and create the confidence and motivation in them to represent their SSCs successfully in front of the offices. One thing which I would like to share with the study circle, which I have already experienced, that study circle is always ensuring that we have been conducting sessions on various subjects which are really relevant for all the members, but at times we are tempted to conduct virtual meetings or say seminars on the subject which are not really relevant for the larger number of members. When we come across a subject which we feel that it is not relevant to larger number of members, we are really somewhat skeptical about conducting a program on that. But I would request the study circle that whichever subject, even if we feel that 50 odd members are interested on the subject, please try to ensure that you conduct a proper meeting on the subject, because we have to provide wholesome services to all our members, and we don't have to, because income tax and GST is really something which we are very comfortable with. But when we talk about other subjects, which you may say SME IPO, or say any other subject which we feel is relevant to a smaller, like we have just conducted a webinar, a virtual meeting on this thing, import substitution and FDI, wherein I think so this subject is somewhat, we feel that larger audience is not interested. But I feel so this kind of subject we need to also conduct at study circle so that we can develop the real skills in all our members. Among your study circle, you are trying your best to create best of the speakers from your study circle. Try to take more and more initiative wherein you can ensure that more and more speakers can come out from your study circle, and more speakers can really give sessions at various chapters and various study circles and branches of WRC and ICI, so that we can create a better educational this thing arena for all the members. One thing which we have taken this year very seriously is research activity as core of the activity of ICI. We have conducted research activity through all our branches at WRC, and I am happy to announce that we have received more than 90 research papers from all the branches. What I am trying to tell you is somewhere or the other we have to imbibe a habit of somewhat learning habit in all our members, or say in entering into an arena or an area which is not very much known to us. So if you can just promote this area, institute is doing lot many things on this area which vice president sir nearby will always update you. But I would request the study circle that if you can really motivate your members to come out with some research papers which we can really forward it at ICI, at WIRC, and ensure that wherever member needs some help, he can refer to that research paper. I think so we can do a wonderful job for the profession. Uh, One thing which Borivali can really help WIRC this year is, as far as reading room is concerned, I feel that you can, with your available resources, you can see, you can locate some of the place wherein it can be provided to institute at a free lease rental. Rest of the expenses will be incurred and investments will be done by ICI. If we can get a premises free as far as lease is concerned, we will be really grateful and take an initiative on the side of providing services to our students. So if study circle can help us, help WIRC in locating some of the place wherein we can start a reading room for our students, we would really be fortunate at WIRC to get your help. So I would request and urge all the members that if you come across any such premises, whether in school, whether of any trust, or whether in any place wherein we can get such facility. So it would be really great on your part. This was all from my side. One last initiative which we have just recently started and which I would like to share with all the members is, we have started with the action plan of involving more and more members in industry with the mainstream activity of ICI. We have started with interaction meeting with executives in industry, taking individual industry as an interaction meeting. Likewise, we have started with pharma industry, wherein we have invited around 15-20 executives from various companies, and we have tried to understand that what we are doing and what the industry expects from ICI, and what are the areas wherein we can jointly ensure that we can get best of the resources and we can represent best of the areas to various government agencies. So let me tell you one thing, that the meeting went very well and it was very successful meeting, and wherein we have started many initiatives of representing and creating some research matter and coming out with some really relevant virtual meeting for the members, so that members in industry can really get benefit of the same. I would urge and request all the members who are working in industry, if you are really interested in this action plan of WIRC, and if you want that you want to participate in such kind of discussion activity or say any of the initiative, please feel free and write to us at wirc@ici.in, so that whenever the respective industry meeting is conducted, we can really invite you in that forum and we can ensure that we can cover up the area which is there in your mind. With this, I would once again thank all of you for giving me this opportunity, and I look forward for more and more interaction with all of you members. Thank you once again. Thank you, convener, deputy convener, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind remarks about study circle. And we have noted the subjects which you have guided us to be conducted as a virtual CPA meeting. So we'll be definitely taking care of all those subjects which you have suggested. And your other remarks related to study circle about conducting the activities, you have been always guiding ever since you have taken the chairmanship of the WRC. And we'll be in touch and we'll keep on updating our parent body WRC about it. Thank you so much for your presence, sir. Thank you so much for gracious presence, rather. Now let us continue with our virtual CP meeting subject, Tally. And may I request my colleague in the core team, CA Nileshwar sir, to introduce the learned speaker, please.
Thank you, friends. Very good morning to everyone, all the attendees and all the panelists. Today, I think the word tally has been linked with the chartered accountant since inception. So for this esteemed topic tally, which is one of the part and parcel of our CA's life. We have CA Anand Paurana, our own core group member of BCSE, as one of our today lecturers. I would request, I'll be giving a brief introduction for Anand Paurana. I would say that he has an experience of 18 years in this field. He has specialized in tele training, implementation and customization, has imparted tele training to more than 10,000 participants. He has successfully implemented Tele ERP9 in various corporates. He is also a co-convener of IT Committee of Chamber of Tax Consultant. With this brief introduction, I would, with a loud round of applause, we welcome Anand sir for this today's seminar. Welcome sir. And on behalf of BCSE, we would also like to present a CABF contribution on your behalf to WRC, the Institute of 501 rupees. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome for this seminar. With this brief introduction, I would request Anand sir to please take charge of the proceedings.
Thank you, Nilesh. Thank you, Lalit, Dipen, entire team for inviting me here. Thank you, Nilesh, for your kind words. Great. We have 90 odd minutes to cover the subject of tally. And within the tally, we have the two topics to be covered. One is the effective audit from tally, and second is the how do we work from home in tally or tally on cloud for that matter. So without wasting much of your time, I will straight away jump to the subject and share my screen. All right, so I have designed the presentation in such a way, I would be open to the question and answer in between also, but let the flow continue. Wherever the convener or the deputy convener feels that it is relevant for the topic being discussed, they can always interrupt and ask the question. And I will answer that in between, or we can also take the Q&A once I finish the presentation.
Sure, sir.
All right, so let us begin with the first topic, conducting effective audit in Tele ERP9. So this is the motto of the auditor. In God we trust, everyone else must bring data onto the table. And with this, in today's world where the audit scenario revolves around the data, it is very important that how well the auditor is able to make the sense of the large data by applying the various audit techniques. My attempt today would be how do we extract and analyze the data of the client which is maintaining the data onto the tally. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome three of the participants from the Tele Solutions Private Limited, Darshan Shah, Rohan Chogle and Janak Lotwala. In the spirit of the short time, I would briefly introduce them. Darshan heads the training efforts in Tele and is a business development manager. Some of the queries which you post on your chat section today may be answered by the Darshan directly. He himself is a trainer. We have taken lot many sessions together. Welcome, Darshan. We also have the Rohan with us. He's a key partner manager and works with multiple tele partners on Customer Connect. And we also have the Janak Lotwala with us. Janak works on the zonal level for GTM and evangelist strategy. Welcome all three of you. It's pleasure for me that all three of you are here. All right, let's move ahead with the topic. So audit and compliance in Tele ERP9. If you broadly see what are the prerequisites for conducting the audit into the tally, then we'll move on to the audit planning. How do we create the audit checklist? Then we'll move on to the vouching and verification aspect. Once that is done, we'll jump into the data analysis inside the tally where we'll tackle the RSF, analytical procedure and lot more. We'll also touch upon how do we prepare the financial statements in tally. And what is a mark voucher facility in Tele, which is for the finalization of the entries in the case of the SME client. So this is the broad agenda. Prerequisites. I would be switching over between the PowerPoint and the Tele screen frequently. So please be with me. So the prerequisites of audit and compliance module in Tele is that security control feature of the Tele ERP9 should be enabled. If it is not enabled, audit and compliance feature will not be visible. So how do you enable? The steps are given here. So I would just keep that step. Once you enable this security feature, audit and compliance module would be visible on the tele screen. And this is the entire audit and compliance module what I'm going to discuss today. So coming to the second step, audit planning. So let me just switch back to the tally. I'm just opening one company here. All right. So once I have activated the security module, that is username and the password, this audit and compliance module is visible on the screen. If I click on the audit and compliance, again, audit documentation, audit analysis, audit journal, financial statement, various menus are available. I'm first going on to the audit documentation part. If you see the first aspect, audit program, so I'm just clicking into it. We can design our audit program into the tally. First, it is asking me the set or alter client and the auditor's detail. If I'm saying yes, it will take me to the screen to define the firm name. Let's say I define the firm name, ABC and Associates. I can give the addresses. These details will be then used to print on the Schedule 3 balance sheet and the profit and loss account. And let's say I have an audit team member. I have a 2 audit team member who is going to do the audit of this organization. On the right side, we have a client detail which will be picked up from the master data of the tally. Again, we can punch in some additional detail like, is it a partnership firm, private limited company, what is the industry type, number of branches, branch details, some basic information about the client. Then it asks me about the areas of the audit. Now, if you see on the right side, Tally has already done a pre-definition of the various areas. So let's say, for example, I pick up bank book vouching as an audit area. Then it asks me what are the estimated time for this bank book vouching. I can put it either in the number of days or number of hours. So let me say I'm putting it in number of days. Actual I can put in later on once the audit is done. Extent of verification in statutory audit, we generally do not check 100%. We check only the sample basis. So let's say the instruction is to check 40%. Who needs to verify? So let's say Mahesh needs to verify. Verification remarks reviewed by and the review remark we can put later on as we go along. So now this bank book vouching has been added as an area of audit. Similarly, I can keep on adding the areas. Let's say I check about the verification of the opening balance as one of the area. All right. Tally has defined some around 15 areas where I can add in. However, if I want the additional area, that facility is also given. In the list of audit area, a new tab is also given. So I can click on the new and I can say, I can define my own area. Let's say the data ledger confirmation. And I can say it should be completed in the 3 days time. Now, if you see, that is added as an area. So the idea is once we define the audit program inside the tally, it remains inside the tally and my audit documentation is taken care of. One more aspect about the audit program is, if you see on the downside, down ribbon, there is an option of the copy program. So once I define the audit program in one company, I can actually copy this program from one company to the another company and from one financial year to the another financial year. So as an audit firm, you need to exhaustively define the audit program only once. Once you define the exhaustive audit program, let's say as an auditor, you are going to check the 25 sub items: bank book, cash book, external confirmation, financial statement, journal vouching, whatever. Once you define this 25-30 areas of the audit, you can keep this as a model audit program in one of the company. And then for the next company, you can just come here, keep both the companies open, click on the copy program and copy the program from that company to this company. Therefore, your effort to recreate the audit program is saved. So this is really a small but very useful feature. All right. So that was an audit program. Next, we have the accounting standard checklist. So Tally has given list of all the accounting standard, and it is asking me whether this accounting standard is applicable to this company or no, whether this accounting standard is complied by this company or no, and my broad remarks onto this. So maybe I can have this as a checklist. Let's say I can say inventory valuations are done on FIFO basis. All right. This is just a broad checklist. There is no sub questions or sub points. This is a broad checklist, but however, it will serve as a guiding tool for my next year also. Similarly, auditing checklist is also available. Tally has given the entire list of the auditing standard denoted by the SA number as well as the AAS number. Again, a broad checklist whether this standard is applicable to this organization or no, whether it is complied or no, and your remarks. So idea is once you create the audit program, accounting standard checklist and auditing standard checklist, your documentation is also taken care of. So that was the second point about how do we create the audit planning. Rest of the points here I will come as and when we progress onto the session. So that was the second point of the audit planning. So I have given this whatever I have discussed here. Next is the vouching and verification. So for that I am going on to the audit and analysis. In the audit and analysis, if you see here, under auditing, there is an option of the verification of voucher. If I click on this verification of voucher, it is saying me that there are total 1073 vouchers in the company broken up into the different voucher types: sales, purchase, payment, receipt, debit note, credit note, and so on and so forth. Now, the first step is, as I told you, I'm not going to check 100%. We always take out the sample and then check it. How do we take out the sample in the tally? So for taking out the sample, on the right side, there is an option called master config or a control F9. So I am clicking that control F9 master config. There tally gives me the option of a sampling methods. So we select the sampling methods. We select the particular voucher type. Let's say I go and select the sales and I press enter. Now tally gives me the option. How do I want to do the sampling? So various options are given, whether I want to cover all the vouchers, whether I want to give the amount range, like for example, in the sales, I want to do the vouching of the sales transaction only above 50,000 rupees, or even numbered voucher, odd number voucher, specific period voucher. If my client is working in an industry which is more of an event based or more of an seasonal nature, then I can also select specific period. Let's say my client is a seasonal based industry and his sales picks up around Diwali time. So I can select October, November as a specific period or a specific voucher. And there is something called as a Benford analysis also. Benford analysis is highly used in the fraud detection and the forensic audit. You can Google it out, what is a Benford analysis. So that is also supported by Tally. Right now I'm going to stick to the basic amount range. So I select the amount range and I say, let's say minimum 50,000, and I click enter. Now if you see that sampling query has been saved inside the Tally. So again, this helps me in the documentation. Tomorrow, if I want to say that how I have selected my sample, I have the data available inside the Tally. Now, the moment I press escape from here, now on this screen, if you see sales, there are total 114 total voucher, but sample voucher are 76. If I click on the sales and come to this 114 and press enter, it will give me the list of the entire 114 vouchers. But if I come on the 76 and click on the 76, it will give me the list of only sampled vouchers. So I'm clicking on the 76. It gives me all the list. So now the next step is to do actual audit. So let's say I check this Janta Timbers voucher. So how do I check it? So again, the information is given to you here on the down ribbon. For displaying the voucher, you have to say Alt Enter, or for altering the voucher, you have to say Control Enter. Right. So if I Alt Enter, it will display me the voucher. I can call for the physical voucher supporting everything, and then I press Escape. And now I want to tick inside the Tally. Generally, we do the green tick once we check the voucher. So now I'm going to actually tick this voucher inside the Tally. Alt Enter is for display. Control Enter is for the alteration of the voucher. Only Enter is for putting the tick, for putting the audit tick. So if I just press Enter here, it asks me for the audit details, whether it gives me 4 options, whether it is on hold, whether this voucher is audited, whether it requires an external clarification or internal observation. So on hold means I still want some more information, so I'm not putting the tick here. Audited means I have checked, I have put tick, 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 and everything is found to be okay. External clarification means I have checked the voucher, but there is some clarification required from the client. So I can put the external clarification. Internal observation. I have checked the voucher, but I don't want to raise the query to my client as of yet. I would like to raise the query to my internal audit team members. So I can keep on auditing. So the moment I say audited, I can put any audit note. And there's an option, copy audit details to working paper. We can say yes. Let me just quickly do the audit of the couple of entries here. Let's say external clarification, provide documents. Now, the moment I say external clarification, it asks me list of the names from whom I require clarification. So all the user ID created inside the tally would be listed here, and I can select from whom I need a clarification, or I can also select any. Right now, I don't have the any other user created, so I'm selecting any. What is a priority, and whether you want to categorize, whether it's an authorization issue or supporting issue, high value issue, or not connected to business issue. Later on, you can filter all your queries based on this parameters. So I'm saying this is a supporting issue. Great. So, all right. So likewise, I'm putting the tick onto the voucher inside the tally. Beautiful thing here is, now I'm coming back to the first screen under audit and compliance, audit and analysis. If you see your verification of voucher, there were 1073 vouchers. I had put some query and done the sampling on the voucher. So you remember there was a 76 sample voucher in the sales. So it is showing me sample vouchers are 76, which is 7%. Right now I only done the sampling inside the sales. That's why it is saying 7%. The moment I do the purchase, payment, receipt, journal, the percentage will go up. Then it says audited. If you remember, when I'm ticking the voucher, it gives me the various options: audited, internal observation, and external clarification. All right. So now if you see, the based on my selection at that entry level, the voucher will be classified either under audited or internal observation or external observation automatically. I don't have to do anything. I can go inside and check the list. And next time when the client logs in from his ID, he can get the list of the vouchers which is there for the external clarification. All right. So this table is automatically prepared. So imagine as an audit head or as an audit partner of your organization, if your articles and your people are following this, at a glance, you will come to know that what is the percentage of the sample they have selected, how many of them are audited, that means found to be okay, for how many they require an internal observation or internal clarification, and for how many vouchers they require the external clarification, and out of that how many are clarified. Okay, so this will automatically, this table will be automatically prepared. Not only this, once I have put the tick onto the voucher, either audited, internal observation, or external clarification, anyone changes the voucher, anyone does any alteration in the entry, it will automatically come and sit in the last column called altered to be re-audited. Therefore, once I activate the audit and compliance module, and once my team, once my people start taking the vouchers, I start getting the complete control on the vouchers. So if someone changes the voucher after I pass the entry, after I've done the audit, I will come to know immediately. Any question related to the vouching, I will like to take up at this point in time before we move ahead. While vouching sales, there is one question, while vouching sales and purchase, whether we get tax-wise bifurcation also. So yes, if you see the entry, I'm going inside the entry by pressing Alt Enter. So the tax details are visible and all the entries are visible. All the details are visible here. All right. Even the TCS detail about the income tax is visible. So whatever entry details are there, it is visible on the screen. You can check it. All right. So there are no other questions related to vouching. Great. I'm just quickly wrapping up this vouching because it is the thing which is required to be done mostly by our article and the students. So I'm not spending much time onto it unless someone has a very specific question onto the subject. All right. Before I move to the next section, there are few points here. Uh, related party transaction, forex transaction, MSME transaction, salary and wages payment. Let me take you through this. Related party transaction. So we need to report related party transaction in our audit. So if I go inside this related party transaction, all right, I can define the related party by again pressing the master config, Control F9. There's an option called related party. I can click here on the related party and I can go on to the particular ledger which is a related party. Let's say, for example, Andrew Consultant is a related party. So I can select that. How do I select that? By pressing the spacebar here. So it turns green and I press F5 on the right side, which is an update button. So I update and say, is it a related party? Yes, it is a related party. And I can define the relation type, whether it's an associate company or a common director or a holding company or a subsidiary company, type of the relation. And I click enter. Likewise, I can keep on selecting the companies which are the related parties. So I'm doing it for Avanti Construction also. The moment I define the related party once, it will stay inside the tally data. And if you see now, here under the related party tab, tally will club the transactions related to the related party. What are the total number of the vouchers? What are the audited voucher? What is the closing balance? If I go inside it, it will still show me entire ledger, entire audit details, audit note and everything. Now, how much to report, what to report, that is up to the auditors. All right, tally gives me the data at one place immediately the moment I clear the related party. Again, the advantage is I have defined the related party in 1 year data. So next year, I already know that these 7 parties are the related party. I can immediately ask the client, are there any other related party or no? And then we can carry on with our related party audit. All right. So I will go to the next question. Next point, forex transactions. Tally has a multi-currency module active by default in Tally. If your client has activated the multi-currency module inside the Tally and is passing the entry with the currency, all the entries which has the currency other than your base currency, so in our case other than the Indian rupee currency, will be captured here. So it would be at a glance. So for example, sales, the moment I click on the sales, I will get all the sales entry passed with the other currency at one glance on a one screen. So I can immediately glance through that. Okay, the euro rate was around 68 at which it is passed. A dollar is passed around 43 point something. Immediately I can have a question that why the euro rate is constant throughout the year. See, this is a query I can immediately make out. In the case of the dollar, there are rate variation is there with a minor amount. However, as far as euro is concerned, it is booked at the same rate. So immediately I can select this. I don't have to go anywhere. I can select this from here, press enter, say external clarification and write a query why euro rate is taken as 68 for all transactions. All right. So this becomes my query right from here. So I can say the new rate query. So my query is saved. Again, that query goes into that table, audited, internal, external clarification, and that table keeps on updating. One more thing, I can also select this entry, and instead of pressing enter, if I press enter, it will write a query. I can also click on the working note. Okay, so I can also write the working note at a company level or a voucher level or a ledger level or a group level. I will come to this also again once after some time. So this becomes my query. So see, Tally gives me the data readily. What to do of that data? Audit is still the prerogative of the auditors. But it gives me the data very fast, very quickly. All right. So I move to the next MSME transaction. Similar to the related party, I can define the parties as MSME. Again, I go into the control F9 master config and I click on the micro, small and medium enterprise. I can select the party and I can say update, and I can say whether it's a micro, small or the medium enterprise, and I can put the registration number. Tally will save this detail, and what the Tally will do is Tally will compile those transactions and give it to me here at one place, giving me the name of the company, enterprise type, which group it is classified in the Tally, closing balance, total number of the vouchers and audited voucher. I can go there and again check the audit notes, ledger and everything about this. So it makes my task little simpler. All right. Last part here is salary and wages payment. Tally also has the payroll facility inbuilt inside the Tally. So if the client has activated the payroll in the Tally, and if I click here salary and the wages payment, it gives me at a one screenshot the entire summary, month-wise, what was the opening balance of the employees in this month, how many have newly joined in the company, how many have resigned, and what was the closing balance. And as against this number of the head counts, it also gives me the total of the earnings, deduction and the net salary. So I can say the laser scrutiny for salary can be done from here very quickly. I go inside, I again get the breakup branch wise, function wise, employee filter wise, so quite a detailed one. All right, so that completes the vouching aspect of it. So let me take up any questions out there. All right. If any separate working section in Tally, yes, there is a separate working paper section in Tally. Although the question is not understood fully, Mr. Ram Lakshman. All right. Client has forwarded Tally backup. I have worked and recorded audit documentation in Tally at my office. After restored Tally backup provided by client. After audit client provided revised selling. There is something I could not understand, but what I could understand is that client has forwarded you the Tally data backup in your company. You are doing this audit and analysis by yourself. Then how do we transfer this? We'll come to this in the second part of the session, where I'm going to talk about the how do we do the remote audit. So I will cover this question at that point. All right.
Yeah, Anand sir. So, Anand sir, Darshan here. So, just to add, we will talk about it in session by Anand sir for marked vouchers. So that is one feature which can help you for merging your data and client's data, additional information which he has passed after the data he has given for audit. So I think we can take up that topic of marked vouchers, which can help for this type of scenarios.
Mark voucher is scheduled for this session at the end.
Wow. Yeah.
Thanks. Great. So I have completed the vouching section of it. So some of the information has been again provided to you. How do you select the sample, and this will be helpful for you going forward. Let me jump to the data analysis, and obviously my favorite entire session is this part, data analysis part, because vouching is more or less done by our article or the student, but this is a data analysis which if you master, I would say the small company audits you can complete, or you can complete the overview of the small company audits in 15-20 minutes time also. So yes. All right. So let me just come here. Before I start the data analysis part, if you see on the right side top end, there is an audit period defined. Don't mind, it's an 8-9 period. It only goes to show that this audit features are given by Tally more than 10 years back, but probably we are not using it. All right. So, and there is a previous year period. So last year you yourself has done the audit, you have the finalized data with you. What you can do is you can load this last year data and do the various comparison between the last year data and the current year data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the previous year company. So for that, on the right side, there is an option called compare company. So I will click on this compare company. I will select the last year data, put the ID password. Now, if you see the audit period is this year 8-9, and the previous year company is ABC and company 7-8. So now Tally is going to compare the 2 years data simultaneously and give me the various reports. All right. So let me first come to the first aspect, verification of chart of accounts. If I click on this, what Tally does is Tally compares the ledger accounts across the two company and give me various reports. And it gives me various exceptions. So first of that is accounts squared off during the year. Whether it is an audit query, whether it is not an audit query, that is up to you. However, definitely when we are doing the audit, we do look at the accounts squared off during the year. So it gives me accounts squared off during the year, 21 ledgers, 2 verified, 19 not verified. So if I press enter on the accounts squared off during the year, now if you see, there are various ledgers which is squared off. There is no opening balance, there is no closing balance, there is only the transaction. If I want to see the ledger, right, I can see the ledger by clicking F8 on the right side, that this is the ledger. Then this is how it is squared up. Or if I want to write any query, again I can click here by pressing space bar and say verify, that is Alt F9 here. I can say verified, all right. Or this is verified. Or if I want to write any query, I can again click on the particular ledger, let's say the Gen Realtors, and I can click on the working note. All right. Now it is asking me the working note, whether, and it is asking me at which level I would like to have a working note. Company level, group level, ledger level. So I can write a working note at a ledger level and say Gen Realtors address is not shown. Whatever is the query, I'm just writing something. All right. Now that means, please realize that sometime back I've written a query at a voucher level. Now here I'm writing a working note at a ledger level, group level, or a company level. That means all the 4 levels are covered. All right. So let's say suddenly while doing this, I remember something that I need to do something at a company level. So I can write a note at a company level saying that provide MOA and AOA for verification. I did not go out or somewhere. Anywhere, from anywhere I can write this query. All right. So this is the first exception, accounts squared off during the year. Second exception, not available in the current year. There are 6 ledgers which is not available in the current year, which is there in the last year data, but this is not available in the current year. So probably I can check the voucher, those ledger why it is not available. Next is not used. There are 2 ledgers which is there in the current year, but it is not used in any entry. So if there are some expenses ledger, I can always go ahead and ask why this expenses has not been incurred. Not used in the current year. So this was in not used in both the years. This is not used in the current year. All right. Then only balance is no transaction. So there are some ledgers which only has a balances, but there is no transaction. So there is an opening balance, there is a closing balance, but no transaction. So again, very relevant for the audit purpose. Regroup. There are some ledgers which is regroup during the last year and the current year. Revenue ledgers having opening balance. Generally, the revenue ledgers, that is a P&L ledger, do not have the opening balance. But by error, if some opening balance has been punched in, it will give me the error here. And used only in the current year. So these are the ledger which are used only in the current year. So various different types of the analysis on the ledger account. Not necessarily a query. I once again repeat, it may be a query that is an auditor's judgment. Tally gives you the data to verify these things. All right. Same way, there are various analysis available on the stock item. Various analysis available on the stock item. Difference in the opening stock. So again, last year closing balance and the current year opening balance, there is a difference in the opening stock. So it is comparing the closing balance of the company 7-8 and the opening balance of the company 8-9 and giving me the data. All right. So this helps me in the, again, filtering out. Not available in the current year. One stock item is not available in the current year. Not used in the current year. Only balance is no transaction. So again, very important, whether it is to be written off, I can take a call along with the management. Only is in the current year, maybe the new stock item has arisen. So these 2 things gives me the various analysis on my ledger accounts and various analysis on my stock item. This helps me in doing the lot of filtration aspect. Next, I come on to the verification of the balances. Generally, our people check, first thing is the opening balance verification, and they take anywhere between 15 minutes to maybe 3-4 hours time in pressing the opening balances. Here, since I have loaded the last year data which is finalized by me and the current year data which is given to me by the my client, I can click on the verification of the balances and my opening balance verification is done. Yes, at a click of the button, opening balance verification is done. It is taking the closing balance from this financial year 7-8. It is taking the opening balance from the year 8-9, and it is giving and it is showing the difference. So wherever there are difference, it is showing in the red and showing up in the difference column. So it helps me figuring out the opening balance very quickly. All right. So I come to the next. All right. I come to the next analytical procedure. My personal favorite, if you ask me, analytical procedure. If you ask me analytical procedure, my personal favorite. So I'm clicking onto it. We all know that the tally is a concept of the group. Tally is a concept of the ledger. Tally is a concept of the cost center. Tally is a concept of the cost category. So in this analytical procedure, I can compare anything with anything out of this 4 across the period. So say for example, I want to compare group with the group. I'm taking the base group as a sales and I'm taking the compare with the group as indirect expenses, and I'm comparing the current year with the previous year. If I click on this, my comparison is ready. A beautiful report. I think our article spent a lot of time in doing this comparison. So what it gives me the sales for the current period, sales from the previous period, from the previous year data, what is the variance, percentage increase or decrease. Then here in particular column, it gives me a list of all the indirect expenses, amount of the indirect expenses as a percentage of the current year sales, last year indirect expenses as a percentage of the last year sales, horizontal difference in amount, horizontal difference in percentage. This one report has a potential to do the analytics on the tally data. Again, with the indirect expenses, I would also like to add the direct expenses. So on this screen itself, I can go to the advanced compare. I can select direct expenses and done. After indirect expenses, tally also gives me the direct. So again, I say any group, any ledger, any cost center, any cost category, anything with anything is possible. Let's say the client has defined the salesman as a cost center. Now you want to compare the sales versus the salesman, or you want to compare the sales as a group with the purchase as a ledger, or you want to compare the purchase as a group with the freight inward as a ledger. So now you have to imagine what you need to compare, and Tally will ready-madely throw you this report. This is a very beautiful report, and you can keep on adding the advanced configuration. All right, so this gives me the very detailed information. Next, I come on to the pending documents. So if I click on the pending documents, it gives me the 3 information. First is a pending order. If the client is maintaining the purchase order inside the Tally, purchase order and sales order, it gives me the information about how many purchase orders are pending and what is the total value. So I can always view it, that for how long it is open and whether it needs to be cancelled. Then next is important, pending bills, goods received but bills not received, and the goods delivered but bills not made. Again, it will be important in as a part of my cutoff procedures. Goods received but bills not received, we will need to make a provision for purchase. And goods delivered but bills not made, we will need to book the sales invoices in the current year. So again, very important report here. Again, if I go inside, it will give me the client wise and again the tracking number wise detail. Next is outstanding, net pending receivable and net pending payable. Generally, when we talk about the receivable, we generally understand it as a sundry debtors. But here, Tally gives me 2 things. under net pending receivable, debtors having a debit balance and creditor having a debit balance. All right. So it will give me both the things here as a net pending receivable. And if you see, creditor having a debit balance is immediately reflected in the red color here. I also have the option of clicking on exception here, and it will only give me the list of the creditor having a debit balance. So again, I'm clicking on the all here. One important thing here is, let's say computer world, this ledger. It also gives me what are the pending bills for this party and what are the on account vouchers. This is the only place in the tally where it gives me the on account voucher for all the parties on the one screen. So if I want to make sure that client does not use the on account voucher, I can go here and inform the client, please settle against the invoices. So same way, net pending payable is a creditor having a credit balance and debtor having a credit balance. Debtor having a credit balance reflected in the red color. All right. Great. We move next to the statutory payments. This is old data, so this will not be very pleasant to view. But however, here in the statutory payment, in the current data, you will be able to see TDS and the GST dashboard. So let me just talk about the TDS. Client doesn't have a data here. Otherwise, it will give me the data and it will take me to the calculation here. Next, periodic payments and receipt. So again, this is a part of the ledger scrutiny. So there are certain ledgers which has a periodic nature, like for example, rent, electricity, conveyance. So these are the periodic in nature. So again, we can define what are the periodic payments and receipt in my company. So let's say I go and define the certain expenses under indirect expenses. So let me just say and go and say electricity charges. So I select here by pressing spacebar and say F5 update. So this is a periodic payment. Then let me say office rent is a periodic payment. So I'm updating that also. This is a one-time exercise. So once this is done, even my article will be able to do this thing. So let us have defined 3 things as a periodic payment. So next time when I go inside it, periodic payment and receipt, see, it will give me only the ledgers which are periodic in nature. And once I click onto this, let's say I click on the office rent. The moment I click on the office rent, it will give me the comparison of the last year and the current year. It will give me the last year month-wise rent. It will give me the current year month-wise rent. I can do a broad analysis of the same looking at here. So I can make out that the rent is about 1 lakh in the last year, probably in the month of March. There is a provision also. So therefore it is coming twice. So I'm okay with it. In the current year, if you see, in the June month, it is only 50. In the May month, it is 150. And in the last month of March, it is increased to 125. So I can target my efforts to that, saying that why it is increased to 125. I can view the voucher. All right, rent for the month of March provided. This entry also says rent for the month of March. So why so? And again, in the month of June, there is only 50,000. Now there is no narration written here, so I cannot make out why it is 150 and why it is 50. So my idea would be immediately to write a query here. So come here. I did not go again to the query for a voucher. Okay, I can select this and I can say audit. Again, same screen opens up and I can say Excel clarification. Why rent has been paid at 1.5 lakhs for me. All right. I may classify this as a high value. All right. So this query is saved. I can understand a lot of people raising their hands and they want to ask something. I will come to you in next 5 minutes time. Just allow me some time. All right. So next is a repeated transaction. Repeated transaction means any amount appearing in any ledger more than once. Tally calls it a repeated transaction. Why it is so important? For some of the ledger, there has to be repeated amount. For example, rent. But if there is a repeated amount in, let's say, conveyance or maybe the cash expenses, then it may be a cause of worry. So what Tally gives me in this report is repeated transaction of the party, all the ledgers having the same amount. Let's say Jet Roadways Private Limited. It is saying me that the 5,000 amount is repeated 15 times. So I can go inside it, and I can see, and I can click inside by pressing Alt Enter and see. Right. So I can view the narration being transport charges due for the month of June. So maybe I have entered into some contract with the Jet Roadways. I can call for that contract. Or if it is not a contract, then why it is saying for all the months. So I want to write a query again. So again, I will select here. I will say audit, and I say external clarification. Is there any contract entered into with Jet Roadways? Please provide copy of contract for verification. All right. All right. Beautiful. So this gives me the complete control. But wherever I'm doing, I come across some query which I need a clarification. I just need to press enter and I can write a query onto this. Yes. Before moving forward, I will again take up few questions. Yes. Can we get all the summary of queries in one screen? Yes, Amitji, we can get the summary of all screen in one screen. I will come to that. Sharad Bhai has asked, just tell you a feature of workout percentage of cash receipts and payment vis-a-vis the total receipts and payment as required under amended section 44AB. So the cash receipts and payments are available as against the total receipts and payment. No, I think you will have to do some workaround into this and export the payment register, receipt register to be very specific from the Tally and work out from that. I will try and answer this at the end of the session if the time permits. All right. So let me just move ahead to the next. Depending if there are some relevant questions, you can always interrupt and ask me.
Sure, Anand.
So I move to the next related.
There is one question regarding statutory payment.
Yes.
Whether late statutory payment report can be generated. If yes, how?
Late statutory payment receipt can be generated. If yes, how? No, we have not defined the due dates anywhere in the Tally. So the late report is not generated in the Tally. Darshan, if you differ with me, please unmute and answer. All right. So we move to the next relative size factor. Now, again, this is very important criteria. Relative size factor is the highest amount of the ledger divided with the second highest amount of that particular ledger. How it is relevant? So generally, this is an audit for the reasonableness or audit of the range boundness. So for example, let's see the subscription. The premises of this RSF is, if I'm running a business, generally my expense or income are range bound. For example, if my telephone bill is coming around 5,000-6,000 a month, it will generally be in that range. Suddenly it will not jump to 30,000 or 40,000 or for that matter 1,000. If it does, then it will be captured in the RSF. So again, I repeat, what is the definition of the RSF gives? Highest amount of the ledger divided with the second highest amount of the same ledger. So let me explain you with the example of the subscription. So see, I am giving the subscription of the 300, 400 or 1,000 rupees. Suddenly I have given the subscription of 25,000. So this ledger is sorted into the amount wise, and highest amount is reflected in first, second highest the second, and those two are reflected in the blue color. And there is a formula also given upper side. The highest divided the second highest, that is how 25. Whether it's a query or not a query, again that will depend. But I will immediately get the sense that there is something which is going out of the range. I need to audit. So I can immediately press enter and say kindly provide receipt for the club membership. All right. So again, what Tally does is Tally does this slicing of the data, gives me some meaningful report. Let's say, for example, legal fees. Now, legal fees is 8.33. So the highest legal fees I have paid is 8 times more than the second highest legal fees I have paid. All right. So whether it's a query, not a query, you have to justify. So I would say once you get a hold of the RSF as an audit firm, you may design some rule for your articles and students that any RSF above 3 in the expenses and 5 in any other ledger should we have the explanation. Till that time, don't come to me with the queries. All right. So that will filter out all the unreasonable transaction, or at least have some explanation for the unreasonable transaction, not necessarily a query. But yes, as an audit firm, you can set some rules for your audit team in this regard. Very important aspect, RSF. All right, next comes the other analysis. So there are some more analysis under data analysis. Interbank transaction. If I'm operating into more than one bank, it will give me the interbank transaction here, and it will give me the instrument date, bank date from the bank reco, and the number of days delayed. So nowadays, in the case of the RTGS and NEFT scenario, if there are more delays in the bank-to-bank transfer, we can always go ahead and inquire. Same report for the cash withdrawal or the deposit to the bank. So it will give me all the cash deposit or withdrawal to the bank entries here, and it will say me what is an entry date, that is an instrument date necessarily, bank date, and if there are number of days delay. So we know that there cannot be a delay in the case of cash withdrawal and cash deposit, but Tally gives me the ready-made. So I need not do vouching into that aspect. Fixed asset analysis. So if I click on the fixed asset analysis, it will give me all the ledgers of fixed assets, its opening balance, addition during the year, deletion during the year, closing balance. All right. If I click on detail, Alt F1, it will also give me, in the case of addition, the number of days. So this purchase is for 269 days. All right. So I can export this report and prepare my depreciation schedule. Ready depreciation schedule is not there in the default Tally, but yes, I can export this report and prepare a depreciation schedule as per Companies Act. And again, if you see, this number of days is smartly divided into the less than 180 and more than 180. So again, I can re-export this and also prepare the depreciation schedule as per the income tax. So this is for the fixed asset analysis. Transaction on holiday. So I come inside this and I can define the holiday calendar. I can define up to 2 weekly off in my organization, and I can further define the other holiday which I give to my company. Let's say Maharashtra Day, 15th August is an Independence Day, so and so forth. Once I define the holiday calendar, what Tally will do is Tally will pick up all the transactions on those holiday and give it to me on the one screen. Are there any bar of doing business on holiday? Absolutely not. But it gives me at a glance all the vouchers which are entered on the holiday. Okay, for example, if I see the repeated entries coming on the holiday, I can immediately catch hold of this and say why this is happening. If there are cash voucher on every Sunday, I can say why there are cash voucher on every Sunday. All right. Maybe I ask someone to go somewhere, but there cannot be a cash voucher on every Sunday. So it gives me a very important information. Again, this can also be used for some other purpose. I can define the holiday as for some any other day, and I can generate the report. All right, highest and lowest value transaction. So here we have seen one report of the repeated transaction, which was any amount repeating in any ledger more than once. It was a repeated transaction. And this is highest and lowest. For every ledger, all the ledgers are listed here. What is the highest amount? What is the lowest amount? What is the difference? What is the difference percentage? So again, it's an audit of the range bound or a reasonableness audit.
Anand, there is one query regarding fixed asset.
Yes.
Member wants to just once again go through the fixed asset model.
All right. So I'm again
Billing is also not done.
fixed asset analysis.
Billing is also not done.
So it is under other analysis, under fixed asset analysis. So under fixed asset analysis, if you see, it gives me the list of the fixed assets, opening balances, addition, deletion, and closing balances. And if I click on Alt F1 detailed, so wherever there are additions, Tally also gives me the number of days. Number of days is counted from the date of entry. Date of put to use is not there. Tally is not capturing that. Date of entry is there. All right. I can export this into the Excel and work out my depreciation schedule for Companies Act. And again, if you see, Tally is smartly giving me this addition into number of days into the less than 180 days column and the more than 180 days column. So I can re-export this and use a depreciation schedule for the income tax act. I hope it is clear. There is nothing more into the depreciation or a fixed asset analysis in Tally auditor edition. All right, pending advances will skip. It is same as the balance sheet item. Stale check or instrument. So we know that the more than 3 months old checks are the stale checks. So Tally automatically captures that if some entry is passed and if it is not been reconciled, it is report date is not put, then it will capture here. Validity period is by default set as a 3 months. I can change this if I require. All right, I can change it to 1 month, 2 months for my audit purpose. I can check that also. So I can immediately ask my client to reverse those entries. All right, I come to the last aspect of the data analysis. External confirmation or the third party confirmation. Generally, we do the external confirmation. We select the parties for which we require the external confirmation and ask our client to send out the external confirmation, or we send the external confirmation. Client gives us the data or a ledger account and we compare manually. So here the entire process is automated by Tally. I can go inside the external confirmation. I can select the party for whom I require the external confirmation. All right. As an auditor, I am doing this and I can say mark for confirm. So it is mark for confirm. Now, when the client logs in from his ID, he can go to the display. Statement of account, audit and compliance info, statutory audit info. There he will get this external confirmation. He can go inside and he can see that the auditor has asked for this confirmation, this 6-party confirmation. So he can verify the ledger that why auditor is asking. So from here he can see the ledger that why auditor is asking for a confirmation. If found okay, he can again select this and he can say mark request sent. So he can say request sent. He can put the request saying that sent on email or courier, whatever it is. The moment he says, the Tally asks, do you want to take a print or export? The client says yes. It will immediately print the confirmation letter along with the statement of account, along with the firm name if required. All right. Along with the firm name if required. All right. So just keeping this detail. I'm just saying the print preview. So it will generate a confirmation letter saying that our auditors so are conducting an audit and they want to have the confirmation. Again, this is modifiable to certain extent, and it will also attach the ledger account of that party. All right. So what client can do is he can immediately email from here. All right. So that process is also automatic. Next comes, so first is auditor asking for the which party he requires a confirmation. Second step comes the client sending the confirmation letter. Third step, when the, let's say the other fellow, the AVT computer is also on to Tally. So that AVT computer can choose to send either the PDF file or the hard copy, or he can choose to send the ledger account of ABC and company in his book. How he will do this? So he can go into his data. He can go to the display, account book, ledger. He can go into the display account book ledger. He can go to the ABC and he can say export. He can export into XML. That's all. He can export into XML and send it to us. The moment he sends this, what we can do is we can again go to the audit and compliance, audit and analysis, Other analysis, account reconciliation. We can go to the AVT computers. Or whatever the ledger it is there. And we can say enter. And we can say how do we want to compare the account? Do we want to compare the account by loading the transaction file? We can say we want to do it by loading the transaction. All right. The moment we select this and we give the path of the XML file along with the file name, all right, along with the file name, Tally will automatically compare in a columnar format what is available in my books under AVT computer ledger and what is given by the AVT computer and what are the items of the differences. So again, my ledger confirmation and the comparison becomes really speedy and easy with this. All right, so that concludes the part of data analysis. I will take up any question on the data analysis part. All right, so this is a data analysis part. Are there any question on the data analysis part?
There is one question regarding confirmation letter. Confirmation letter, name of CA not same, data not populated.
On confirmation letter, name of the CA not came. No, sir, it came. The letter, let me just show you again. This is the statement of account, audit and compliance info, statutory audit info, external confirmation. So I'm taking a print. Sir, it came here. Our auditor ABC and Associates are conducting an audit of financial statements. All right. So the company is sending the letter.
Okay. There is another some question like sometimes data is getting corrupted while enabling audit feature.
Strictly data corruption is not the part of the session, but we will have to look at the data. It should not get corrupted. I mean, it is a part of the default Tally feature. There is nothing why it will get corrupted. There may be other reasons like insufficient RAM or the LAN failure or something like this, but data cannot get corrupted only because we are going into the audit and compliance.
Okay, there is another query regarding auditor's remarks are visible to the client in admin view.
Yes, auditor remarks are visible. Previously, this audit and compliance module was given only to the chartered accountants, but now it is opened up for all the clients. So if in the admin view, it is available, yes. And it should be available. I mean, auditor's query should be visible to the client. Then any other question?
There is one more question regarding opening stock converted into fixed asset where quantitative inventory is not maintained in Tally. Entry and verification, how the entry can be done and how verification can be done.
Opening stock converted to fixed assets where quantitative inventory is not maintained in the Tally, entry and verification. So you entry has to be done like we do. We will take it to fixed asset and remove the stock. But since the quantity information is not maintained, you will need to maintain the quantitative information and then pass on to the fixed assets. How to print all audit queries in one screen? That is still pending, Amitji. I will come to that. Yes. All right. So I will come to this Amitji's question. How do we generate the query sheet? So I've done a lot of query raising on the voucher level, company level. Now I want to find out where exactly the query list resides. So I'm going to the audit and compliance. I'm going to the audit documentation, and if you see here, there is an option called audit working papers at all levels. If I click on all levels, it will give me the audit query at all levels: company level, group, and the ledger level, voucher level. All right, and I can filter this out in a various ways by pressing F12 here. I can say whether I want to see the queries of all levels or a company level, master level, voucher level. Let's say I want to see only voucher level. All items, then including configuration, date and time, sorting method, scope wise, date and time wise, voucher date wise, all right, or a transaction value, whether I want to see the transaction value. So this is a one query sheet for my voucher level queries. Okay, I can export it to Excel, print it to PDF, email it to my partner, whatever. It is available. All right. Great. So that answers the query. Yes. All right. We move to the next aspect. Depend how much time we have still? Half an hour?
Yes, we have half an hour. We can even extend further if required.
Maybe I will go a little bit extra because there is still a tele work from home is pending. So I will quickly wrap up the financial statement preparation. So in tele, under audit and compliance module, there's an option of financial statement. So I can click here, a balance sheet. So if you see the schedule, previously it was called schedule 6, now schedule 3, next year 3, balance sheet is available. So tally will group all the data as per its understanding. Wherever tally cannot classify any data, it will show to you in red color. Okay, so for example, under trade payable, it is showing under red color. So I'm going under trade payable. It is saying ungrouped trade payable are there. I'm clicking on the ungrouped trade payable, and now there are ungrouped trade payable. So what needs to be done about this? So if you see, I can select a particular ledger, let's say the challenger system, and if you see, there is an option on the down ribbon. There's an option on the down ribbon, control enter classify. So I can press that, control enter classify, and if you see, it will ask me where I want to classify under schedule 6 or a schedule 3. Mind you, this will not change your default classification in tally. It is only for this schedule 3 balance sheet purpose. So it asks me whether I want to bifurcate balance, whether I want to put the entire balance somewhere. There are 5 options: debit, credit, closing balance, debit, credit, pending amount, debit, credit, transaction total. And the good thing is that for the first time, Tally has given the explanation of all these 5 in the same screen. All right. So what I want to do. So let's say I want to classify this entire thing under the trade payable with others, and it will classify. Okay. So again, this classification I need to do once. Next year it will remain. All right. So again, just to give you a heads up onto this, here there's an option of the show negative cash. If I click here, if there is a negative cash, it will show me here. Right now there is no negative cash, so it is not showing me here. Otherwise, it will show me negative cash here. The important aspect is negative cash can also be shown onto the balance sheet, but that is as on the balance sheet date, as on the closing date. Whereas here the negative cash will be at any point of time during the year. So that will help me. And there's a classify helper and the additional information, whereby if I click on the additional information, I can prepare the additional notes and the schedule required for the schedule 6. So I think I will skip this now because it is too much detail. Maybe we can have a separate session onto this all together. All right, so that's a financial statement preparation, and the very important, Darshan has pointed out, mark change voucher. Very important facility provided by the tally, although it is not a part of audit and compliance module, but very relevant for the auditors and the tax consultants. So what it does is, let's say in this COVID situation also, you are working from your home or office, client is working from his office, there is no possibility of going to the client's place. Client sends you the data, and client has not migrated to the tele on cloud or any other technology. He's a traditional client and he wants to keep his data with him only. He has sent you the data for the audit. All right. At the same time, his business also continues of making the sales entry, purchase entry, so on and so forth. You are doing the audit in your data backup which he has sent you. He is doing the data entry for the current year in his company. Now, after 10 days, 15 days, when the audit is done, which data is final? So this becomes a question now. The another scenario can be, let's say you are receiving the data for a GST filing every month. And due to the nature of the client, you are making certain changes in the entries. But at the same time, client is maintaining his live data also. So how do we migrate only changes which is done by us to the client's data? That is what the question is. So here there is a wonderful feature provided by the tally. It is called the mark voucher feature. So to activate this feature, you will need to go to the F11 feature. So, but before that, let me just close this company. I want to demonstrate this. So let's say I'm opening up the another company called Ganesh Enterprise. And let's say there is only one entry into this company. Okay. Let it be there only one entry. And this Ganesh Enterprise is my client. He sends me the data. So let's say I go to this folder. Now if you see Ganesh Enterprise data folder number is 10,001. So 10,001 is a data folder. I'm making a copy of a Ganesh Enterprise data folder. Let's say I give it a name 10,005, just for my understanding. So now if I click on select company, if you see there are two Ganesh Enterprise. 10,001 is a client's data in which he's still doing the entries. 10,005 is a data which he has sent to me. All right. Now, before I start doing anything on this data, in which data I am into 10,005. Before I start doing anything onto this data, what I should do as an auditor, as a GST consultant is I should go to the F11 feature. I should go to the accounting feature. There's a last question here called mark change voucher. I should make this as a yes and accept. That means I inform the tally. Henceforth, whatever I do inside the tally, with whatever entry I pass, whatever entry I change, whatever modification I do, please keep a track of the same in simple terms. So let's say now I pass some entry. It's my client. I'm doing some, let's say some entry. I'm just passing some demo entry. Don't go into the nature and the number amount of the entry. All right. So now in this my data, I have a 2 entries passed. Okay. Now there may be a 200 entry, there may be a 2000 entry. I can modify the entry also. So let's say this sales entry was there, and it was for the amount of say 10,000, and I check and I say no, it is not the correct. So I modify the entry to basic amount 11,000. Now since I have said mark change voucher as yes, Tally is checking all the changes which I'm doing. What I do, once I finalize the account, what I need to do is I need to go to the display, exception report, mark voucher report, and here it is. Tally gives me the list of all the entries which is either change or pass new. What I simply need to do is I simply need to export this into XML. Let me just put it onto the same folder here. Show dependent master also. So if I created any new master, it will also create that. So let me just put the file name as 123. Open exported file. No, I don't want to open. So now it has cleared this thing. Now I'm closing this company. I'm now coming to the 10,001. If you see in the 10,001, still there is only one entry, and that is also for the 10,000 rupees. Okay, so this is a client's data in which he may have passed the additional entry. It doesn't matter. What I need to do is I need to come to the import of data, vouchers. I need to select this file. I will select this and I will paste it here and just say enter. Done. My changes has been incorporated. Now I can go into the display, statement of account, statistics. Now if you see, why did not come in? Input of data, vouchers. Did I select the file? Okay, some error is happening. Darshan, any idea? What is not picking up?
No, can't exactly figure it out right now. It was exported from marked vouchers only, na?
Yes, it was exported from mark voucher. Yes.
Okay.
All right. It should come here. There is some error which we need to figure this out. Definitely we'll come back to you onto this. Okay. Otherwise, it's a very useful facility. All right. That concludes my session on the audit inside the tally. All right. Any question onto this I will take up, or we'll go on to the next session. Dipen, any question we need to take up at this moment?
Yes, there are two questions. Like mark voucher, there was one. One of the members suggested that you have recorded in 1/4/2020, so that's why maybe it is not picking up.
Sorry.
You have recorded the transaction on 1st April 2020. That's why maybe it is not picking up.
It's okay. So 1st April 2020 is not the problem.
Okay. If a client has deleted entry in his, then also mark voucher will work.
No, there is only one precaution to be taken. You don't have to delete any entry. When you receive the data from the client, you don't delete any entry. If you really want to delete, instead of delete, you use the cancel voucher option. Cancel voucher is being tracked. Deleted vouchers are not being tracked.
Next is generally how to export schedule of financial statements and profit and loss account. Post all accounts are grouped properly in financial statements.
Okay, how to export? So there is an export option available there. You can simply go and export those things. So I'm going to the audit and compliance, financial statement. There is an option of the export here, and you just export this into Excel. Whether you want to export with the notes, whether you want to expand at all levels, whether with the zero items or no. All right, and the notes, what you want to write down, your firm registration number, everything. On the board side, what you want to write, what are the signatory details, and then you can export, and it will export in that Schedule 6 form. Even in the default tally, apart from the audit and compliance module, even in the default tally, there is an option. If you go onto the balance sheet, and on the right side, there's an option to go into the Schedule 6 form. It will take some time because it's a bulky report. All right. Next question. Next query, Dipen.
Next query is cancel voucher and optional voucher are the same.
No, cancel voucher and the optional voucher are not the same. Cancel voucher is you are cancelling the entry. Tally is just retaining the identity of the voucher without any financial number or anything. Optional voucher are the entries pass inside the tally, but it is not affected in your financial account because it is marked as an optional voucher.
Okay. Another question is any change in ledger configuration, how it can be recorded?
Any change in the ledger configuration, how it will be recorded? So once you keep the track, so if you say here, come to the tally. I will come to that company of the Ganesh Enterprise. So if you see, when I had exported, it was asking me show dependent master also. So any change in the master will also be taken care of. Don't delete anything, just cancel it. That's the only precaution we need to use while doing the this thing.
Yeah. So in addition to this, there are two more places where we can find ledgers modified. So one is in the tally audit feature, wherein like if masters are altered, then it is captured there. And also in the audit and compliance module, okay, if ledgers are modified, so there also it brings to your notice.
Yes. All right. Question is talking about here. All right. How to cancel the voucher? It's Alt X instead of Alt D.
Next question is how the mark voucher feature will be useful when client has changed data in made changes in his data, and I have old data.
So the mark voucher feature is used for the scenario where there are two sets of data. That means client is sending you the data for doing some work, and at the same time client is continuing doing his work. So the suggestion is, before you do something at your end, just click mark voucher as yes, do all the changes except for deletion. You can change all the voucher, you can create new voucher, you can create new master, and then you just export this change voucher report, that is a mark voucher report, to the new client's data, and it will be finalized data. I hope that is a question. I mean, there's no other thing which I can understand. Yes. All right. All right. There are no further questions, I believe. Let us just jump to the next topic then. Work from home options or a tally on cloud options. So we have a less time here, so I will be quick and I will skip some of the things. So the topic was tally on cloud, but it is as good as working from home, because that is the entire purpose of we dealing with this subject here. So yes, if you think you can work from home, you can work from home. So there are basically three options into work from home scenarios. You can use the tally.net remote access feature. You can use the Tally ERP9 by accessing your own server. I will come to all these three options in detail. And number three, you can use a Tally ERP9 on cloud. All right. So first option is there in the default Tally, whereby Tally is loaded onto one computer or one server. It is started and data is connected, and all other people are also having the Tally instances with them, either the license or the education version, and they can connect to the Tally data. All right, so the steps are given here. You need to create the tally.net ID, give user access rights in the company, activate the connectivity feature, connect the company and log in as a remote user for another company and start working. For this to work, Tally should be on and working on the another machine where I am connecting. All right. The advantage of this is, I will not go live into this because we are short on time. The advantage of this is available in default Tally. There is no additional cost. There is no dependency on the third-party software or hardware. And yes, there are limitations in the terms of number of users. For the multi-user or the auditor edition, 10 people at a time can access a data. All right. Option 2 is the accessing your own server. So you can access your own server via various technology. Basically, you can use the RDP or VPN. These are bit technical terms, but there are software available in the market like Microsoft RDP, TS Plus, Connect21, Citrix, or even you can use a TeamViewer. Basically, in this, you are accessing your own server, which is there in the office and which is working, and you are operating from your home, from your laptop. You are using this Microsoft RDP. You are logging onto your server and accessing the Tally. So this is the second option. Again, this is very ease of use. Option 3 is a Tally on cloud. That means your office server is not on, but you are purchasing the cloud space or cloud utility from a third-party vendor. Tally does not provide this cloud facility as of now. It may provide in the future, but there are various vendors in the market, various Tally partners in the market who can provide you the Tally on cloud facility, whereby you can host your Tally license and your Tally data onto the cloud. Once you host your Tally license and Tally data onto the cloud, you will not be accessing your own server. Your server may be switched off, but then you can directly logging onto the third-party cloud, opening the Tally and working onto this. Advantages, again, you can use a local printer, local configuration. The pricing generally works on a per user per month basis. However, there are other options also available for the companies whereby you can host your data on the Amazon web server, and it is not the per month per user kind of a stuff. Only one-time charges is there. You can also use the customization in the limited ways. Why limited ways? Because there may be some scenarios whereby, let's say, you've done the customization of auto email to your vendors. Then the Tally on cloud may or may not support it, saying that the email client is not being purchased by you. So there may be a scenario whereby the customization may be limited way. Option 2 and 3, now Tally has come out with the TVU license policy from the 1st of July. TVU license policy is applicable in the option 2 and 3. That is, Either you are accessing your Tally on your own server from outside, or you are using Tally on cloud. That means any scenario, just to understand very briefly what is Tally virtual user, it is applicable to you only if you are working on Tally on other than your LAN environment, other than your office environment. That is, in short, option 2 and 3. There are certain free entitlement also given by Tally. For single user, 1 free, and for multi-user, 10 users are free. TVU license. Beyond free entitlement, TVU license fees are applicable. However, transition policy is there. So if you already migrated your data to Tally on cloud, there is a transition policy applicable which says up to 31st March you may not have to pay any charges. However, this is in addition to whatever cloud setup you do. So let's say you have done the cloud setup on let's say the Microsoft Azure. Now whatever fees you are paying on the Microsoft Azure is there. Over and above that, Tally virtual user is a licensing fees which needs to be paid to the Tally for authorizing your Tally usage on the cloud. All right, so that is a distinction. So you will end up paying two things after 31st March, but it is an authorizing. So Tally is now authorizing you to use your Tally and your data on the cloud. All right, any question on to this? Then we'll come to the last session, last part of this.
There were two questions on Tally on cloud. Who owns the data? Who owns the data which is on the cloud? Who has the ownership of the data?
Who has the ownership of the data? See, Tally on cloud, first thing to understand is Tally is not providing any cloud space. All right. You are purchasing a cloud space from Amazon, Microsoft, or any third-party vendor. Therefore, the agreement between you and that vendor determines who has the data ownership. However, most of the cases, you yourself has a data ownership. That third-party vendor doesn't have a data ownership. It is you who has a data ownership of your data. It is your Tally license which is going to be activated there. Yes.
Okay. Another question is, can it be downloaded on personal PC anytime?
Yes, there are options to download Tally backup anytime. Even if you're on the Tally cloud, you can download it anytime on your data can be downloaded anytime on your personal machine or on your laptop. However, to use that data, again, you will require Tally education version or a license version because your license is on the cloud.
Okay. Another question is regarding TVU virtual license. Is chargeable? Whether it is chargeable, and if chargeable, what is the amount that is chargeable?
TVU is chargeable. Darshan, would you like to take this up?
Yeah, sir. Not a problem. So TVU is basically charged based up. Means we have classified. You can get in touch with any Tally partner to get more details about it. But in short, I would prefer to answer you saying that if for a single user, the maximum limit for a TVU user is 1. Okay, so that Tally has given free, and for multi-user, we have given 10 Tally virtual user as free. So over and above that, if you would like to procure, there is a cost involved into it, which is annually you can pay for it and avail the as number of means in addition to any 10 numbers you can go for it.
To put it simply, let's say you have 15 users, you require 15 users on Tally on cloud, and you are already on cloud. So Tally as a transition provision, Tally has said up to 31st March it will be free. After 31st March, also 10 users are free. Only the additional 5 users you need to purchase, and current rate is 2,700 rupees per user per annum. I think that fully answers the question. Yes.
Fully I refrain from commercials in the forum, so that's why.
No, that's okay. But this is an internal study circle meeting, and since the member has asked, let them be aware about this. Yes.
Sure.
Another question is whether auditor version of Tally is entitled for cloud.
Any Tally license is entitled for cloud. What do you mean by entitled for cloud? And any Tally license you can put on cloud. That is not the problem. Single, multi, or auditor. That is not the problem.
So the policy same applies for a multi-user auditor edition. That 10 users would be given free TVU users. Over and above that, it would be 2,700 plus GST annually.
Again, one Mr. Karan has asked TVU at a time 15 and can vary every time or is fixed. So yes, this 10 users are at a time. 10 Tally instances open are counted as a 10 user.
Okay, another query is regarding how TUV is different from remote access. So I think some members are having a query that TVU is a separate license. So
TVU is a separate license,
but it will work on remote access, means even on RDP or on means.
I will attempt to answer that question Dipen once again. TVU is relatively new. It is launched by the Tally on 1st of July, and we also had attended 6-hour session to understand what is TVU. Okay, so it is but natural that the TVU will have more questions. Basically, till now, Tally's policy was that Tally's license was always given to you to use in a LAN environment, in the office environment. All right. So that was the license policy of the Tally till now. People have put it on the cloud. People are using it through any desk, or people are using it through VPN or RDP. Tally has never said no to this aspect. However, from 1st July, Tally is saying that I was having only the policy of the LAN user that you need to use in a LAN environment. But since you are using on the cloud, let me authorize you to use on the cloud. And I am authorizing you to use on the cloud till 31st March. Whatever you are using, you keep on using. After 31st March, I am giving you certain entitlement, 1 for single user, 10 for multi-user. If you have that much user, you keep on using it, I am authorizing you. Beyond that, if you are using, there will be an additional licensing fee applicable for TVU. It is different than remote access. So in the example what I have given you earlier, let's say you have a 15 user which needs to access the Tally remotely. So you may configure your Tally in such a way that the 10 users are on the cloud, and on the cloud they have activated the tally.net user and 5 users are using on the tally.net user. Then there is no charge applicable to you.
Sir, just adding to it, these are two different technologies which we are introducing in Tally. So remote access goes in its own way, okay, and TVU is in its own way. So we are not merging these two as of now. Reason being that there are many, otherwise I would increase the TSS charges, the annual Tally subscription charges would have been increased with the addition of this technology, and it would have been burdened to all the users. So those who are only on virtual environment and they would like to use this type of TVUs, then we have kept a separate commercials for it, and the TSS is a different commercial. Even अगर आपका TallyNet subscription जो expire हो चुका है तो भी आपका TUV चलेगा, और TUV बंद हो गया तो भी आपका TSS चलेगा. So there is no dependency on each other as of now. Okay, so only for those it is applicable, only they will need to pay for it, else it is not required. अगर आप virtual environment पे नहीं हो तो आपको pay करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है.
It is something like, let's say you are using your server on your office, you are accessing your server from outside, you will require Microsoft RDP license to access your own server. Okay, now there may be free, there may be non-license, whatever may be the case, but you will require Microsoft RDP license to use RDP from your home to your office. So you will need to pay to the Microsoft. Similar way, for using the Tally from outside the office, there will be some commercial applicable going forward. That is what the TV is all about. It is nothing to do with the Tally.net user. Are there any further question on the audit edition?
There
Yeah.
are no questions, Anand, but is it possible to demonstrate that Tally remote access in 5 to 10 minutes time?
Tally.net remote access you want to activate?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Yes. Actually, I have given the steps. It is very easy.
Okay.
Let me just try and do it. All right. So these are the steps. You have to create Tally.net ID. If you do not already have a Tally.net ID, so if you see when you purchase the Tally license, there is one email ID which is written here, account ID. Okay. So that is your Tally.net ID. You have to give user access rights in the company. So in your company, what you will do is you will give the user access right by going into the company info, security control, user and password. And here you will say tally.net auditor or the owner, you will say, you will give the ID. So I'm giving one of my ID. And I have to say, allow remote access as yes. Okay, this is important. I have to say allow remote access as yes. The moment I say yes, this is a second step. Third is I have to keep this company connected. So I will press F4. So now this is connected. Next time, if I'm now this is, let's say this is connected on my server in my office. Now I want to connect the tally. So what I can do is I'm opening the another instance of tally. Now this instance is at my home. So instead of select company, I have to go as a login as a remote user. I have forgotten the password actually. Darshan, you have your ID ready with you? I will.
Yeah, sir, I'm having ready.
Yeah.
You can write my name over there.
Yes.
Darshan.Shah.
Okay. So I'm adding the Darshan as Darshan.Shah solutions.com, and I'm allowing him for the remote access. So there are two things, browser access and remote access. I'll come to browser access also. That is also very fantastic facility available. All right. So now the company is connected. Darshan, are you connected with the laptop and tally is there, or should I show it here?
Yes, sir.
All right. You will share your screen and show.
You can, not a problem.
All right. So I'm going to the login as a remote user.
So the password is sent on your mobile WhatsApp.
Oh, mobile WhatsApp. Let me just find out where the mobile. Just give me a minute. I was in the session. I kept the mobile somewhere else.
Sir, it's okay. It's okay. Not a problem, sir. It's nothing. It's simple. ABCD 1 2 3 4.
All right. So I'm logging in from the Darshan's ID. Darshan, you are advised to change your password after the session.
Yes, sir.
So now, if you see, Darshan is connected via the remote user. All right. Why the company is not connected? So all those companies with the Darshan is authorized would be listed here. And the company which is online right now would be listed into the online companies. And now he is accessing that online company through remote access. So what is the technology here is, if you see this chart, this is a remote user, which is a Darshan. All right. This is a PC, which is your office PC. You authorize in your office PC, in your office data, tally data, you authorize Darshan. Now Darshan is accessing this from the license or the education version of the tally. His request, and you have kept the company online. His request goes to the tally server and the request comes to you, and report is generated on your machine, and the report travel back to on the encrypted mode to the Darshan. It all happens at a split of the second. Okay. Data still remains on your machine. Data is not with the Darshan. Data still remains with your server. Only thing is Darshan is able to access reports and the entries. This is what the tally.net remote user is. All right. I think I will disconnect the Darshan as a user now. All right. For any further questions?
There is one more question. When you are logging as remotely, whether the client computer has to be ideal or they can also work?
You mean to say the .NET, tally.net remote user?
Yes, tally.net remote.
They can work. The client computer need not be idle. They can work. Tally can work in a tally can we open and work in a background, but they can do whatever they want, or they can even work on the second instance of the tally.
Okay, there is one more question. Whether there is a reversal after 180 days, if reversal of GST after 180 days, payment is not made to the vendor. So whether there is any report or any exception report which marks out 180 days invoices which
So
are overdue.
for the closing balance, yes, you can definitely have the age-wise analysis saying that closing balance में से कितना 180 days के ऊपर है. But during the year, if the it is paid, then that report is not there in the default tally.
Okay, what about in case where bill to bill are not maintained?
Then obviously tally or any other system will not be able to identify more than 180 days. Because bill to bill are not maintained, so you cannot say that against which bill it is. So you may have a case of more than 200 days bill is outstanding, but some payment is received against advance or on account. So no system can identify that for that matter. Not only tally. All right. There was someone saying that what is Indian Jugaad. So mark change voucher we will discuss. You can access all your tally report on the browser also. Maybe in some other session I will show you. Okay. Or you can delegate the work like laser scrutiny by generating multiple laser reports in Excel. So one of my client did not have the tally on cloud or did not wanted to use a tally.net user. So what they did is they simply went into the multi-report printing, print out all the ledgers in the Excel and given and bifurcated into their people saying that please audit this, please do the ledger scrutiny. So there are ways to do this. I mean, if you really want to work around, there are ways to do this. All right. Any further question, Dipen?
There is one more question. Can we get bill to bill adjusted report? And the bill to bill adjustment is done against any invoices payment. So is there any report which provides what date payment was done against what bill?
Yes, it is available. You want to see for a particular party or for all the parties? Just let me show you in this pending document. I go to the net pending receivable. It will basically take me to the bill-wise detail screen. Okay, I press F12 here, and I press all bills here. Okay, so whatever bills, so this doesn't have any amount. Otherwise, let me just put some other entry and say. Okay, we just. Say this is. Press F12 and say all bills. So here on this screen, if I press Shift Enter, it will give me all the bills, payment, receipt tagged under the reference number 29. Okay, so let's say Gaitonde Traders has paid me something against the sales bill. Okay, so let me just pass an entry here to show you. Let's say he has paid 50,000 on against this reference. So here it will show me. See, against this reference, this was the sales bill. This is the receipt amount against this reference. So this is where it will be available to you. For each bill, it will be available. Hope that answers the question, Dipen.
Oh, yes. There are no further questions.
All right. Anyone else has a question? I can take up that question. What's the time now? Yeah, we are pretty much on the desired time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Anand bhai. Through your vast experience in Tally, I think you've given the excellent session on Tally with your expert views and answering all the queries of the members. Now, may I straight away request Deputy Convener Dipin Sumaria to offer well-deserved vote of thanks to Speaker Anand Paurana.
Thank you, Lalit bhai. It's a pleasant task of giving vote of thanks to today's speaker, Sri Anand Paurana, and to our other panelists, Darshan Shah, Rohan Chogle, and Janak Lotwala. It was indeed a great hands-on experience of having a Tally audit feature on a live session. Anand has taken us through the audit and compliance module in detail and explained us all the features what are available in Tally module. It would be great help during this pandemic time to having done audit remotely at the client's place from our own office or working from home. Thank you, Anand bhai, for taking us through, and thank you all other panelists. I would request members to greet them with a loud applause. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
will
Thank
be
you.
ending the session now.
Thank you,
so
Anand sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Darshan, Rohan, and Janak for raising the occasion today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anand sir.
Thank you, Lalit.
Thank you, the whole
and
Tally
entire
team.
team.
Thanks
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.